my channel, and I am Stephanie. And this is the week 1 of April the 1st through the 7th, my wrap up for the week. And it's also Spring to It VEDA, so day number 10. So as I said, I am participating in VEDA, and this is one of the regular scheduled videos that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the beginning of the month. And this is what I read last week, so I will just get into it. I'm still coming out of a reading slump from the week before, from spring break, I think, and it's taken me a little bit to get back into books, so I actually only read 4 books this month, or this week, and let's just get to them. It was a pretty good reading week, but you know, hey. So the first book I read was The Scars I Bear by the Bay, number 2 by J.L. Berg, and I placed this in contemporary. I give this book 4 stars. I also received it as an ARC. It has been released since then. It took me a little while to read it because I was so in depth into audiobooks and I really wanted to give this all my attention, so I just took my time with reading it. But this is Dean and Cora's book, and as I said, it is book number 2. Both books can be read as standalones for the By the Base series or what have you. And this book, Dean is coming to terms with how he needs to evolve after a very traumatic and crazy incident. I don't know that I could say just tragic incident where he actually loses a limb, and Cora is a single parent, and she also happened to be Dean's nurse when he was in rehab. Well, Dean goes back to his small town of Okeechobee, and he's trying to find his way because now that he is missing a limb, this limb is very vital to his living, and he's trying to find himself. So when Cora ends up showing up in town, becoming the nurse for Dean's best friend, Jake, you sort of want to know what her backstory is, why she all of a sudden decided to take this job with this super smart, super sweet, super cute daughter who's like 5 years old and is just like a genius. She's just amazing. But why she decided to move to this small island town of Okeechobee. This is their journey. Part of it is their journey together. Part of it is their self-discoveries of their own, in their own lives after tragic and just mind-blowing events that happened to them. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars, and I can't wait for book number 3 to come out. The next book I read was Come Alive, which is the Cityscape number 2, book number 2 by Jessica Hawkins. I placed this in a dark romance category. I give it 5 stars. I listened to it on audiobook, and this is the continuation of Olivia and David's story from Come Undone, and oh my goodness, I was on the fence about if I actually liked Olivia. She really just wasn't doing it for me in book number 1, and I don't know that I love her in this book, but I started to understand her. This book is very triggering. It has very sensitive topics. It has to deal with infidelity and cheating, some other things that go on as well, abuse, psychological abuse and physical abuse, and just, actually I don't know if there's physical abuse, but there is psychological and verbal abuse that goes on. But yes, love triangles. So if any of those things are triggering to you or things that you don't like to read in a book, definitely don't pick up this series. But if you're okay with that type of stuff, please read it, because this second book definitely is bringing out the need to get to book number 3, which is another reason why I put it in dark romance as well. The third book that I read was Hate to Love You by Tijan, and I placed this in the new adult category. I gave it 3.5 stars. I listened to it on audiobook, and this book follows Shay and Kennedy. So the reason it only got 3.5 is because I did not grasp the elements that gave Shay and Kennedy this hate to love, sort of enemies to lovers feel. She had her preconceptions of how college was supposed to be from the things that happened to her in high school. And he has his own issues, but you don't actually learn those issues until well into the book. I want to say like 80%, and then there's like this knowledge dump of information, and it was like, oh, that's where those issues come from. So I just felt really disconnected. It deals with some very, very triggering and hard to talk about issues, so definitely go into it knowing that there may be some trigger moments. I'm not going to tell you what they're about because then that would sort of give it away, the storyline, but there are some triggering things that go on. The fourth and final book that I read last week was A Room for More, Cranberry in #2 by Beth Ehemann, and I give this book 4 stars. I listened to it on audiobook, and this is a continuation of Brody and Casey's story and journey. It does pick up from where the first book ended, and I did enjoy it. I wanted a little more. I didn't necessarily agree with some of the actions that they took, but that's okay. I did enjoy it, and I can't wait to read the novella that goes along with it. I did place this in contemporary, forgot to say that, but I did enjoy it. So those are the 4 books that I read in the first week of April. I am behind on my arcs, so you'll be hearing more books, hopefully, fingers crossed, arcs that I'm reading for the next month. I've sort of slowed down on signing up for them, but, you know, hey, we'll see. Have you read any of those books? Let me know down in the description or in the comments box. If you have, let me know what you thought about them. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow.